We're live.
Hello and welcome to the Weekly Word. Today is Thursday, June 27th. I'm Morgan West.
And I'm Rich Parla. I'm still not funny because I don't have a joke for this, but I think I'm going to lose my unloved moniker. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Oh no, but what about the sticker?
Well, she can still send a sticker,
Uh-huh.
but we have to change something DM.
Okay.
You know,
We'll
unloved
find it.
DM doesn't work anymore.
We'll find it.
All right, we'll find it.
You can say, like, the Nug Life Forever DM.
There we had. I could do that. I like the way you snuck that in there. I love it. And tonight we are joined by that girl at that place, a.k.a. Maxine Bauman.
Bachman. So
Bachman.
close. I mean, think of it like a chicken. Baka?
Yes. Yeah, I
You'll
apologize.
never
I'm
forget
not,
it.
nope, never will.
I apologize completely about that.
It was
That's
close.
okay.
It was a good attempt, a solid attempt.
I mean, I work with kids, so I get many different pronunciations of my name.
Bachman.
Yeah, Bachman.
Yes.
But I like that, so
Yeah,
that's good.
that's
and
good.
and you did say you're going to be at Gen Con, right?
I am. I'm so excited about this.
Awesome. So
That's
then
really
I
cool.
will get to meet you there.
Yeah.
Are you going to? I think Chaotic Anarchy is doing something Wednesday night.
I am planning on being there, yes.
Awesome.
I haven't gotten my... Because I work with Restoration Games.
Yes, you were saying that.
Demoing and whatnot, so I'm not sure what my schedule is until we get closer to the time, but I am planning on being there, yes.
Okay. When you get your schedule for the booth, let me know because I'm a vendor there too. So
Yeah.
I can wander away from my booth whenever I want. So I'll find. Oh my God. So I'll come and find you.
This is like a fun thing for
is it, like,
the
shiny?
viewers. His watch glares in my eyeballs every time he moves his wrist. And I warned him last week. I was like, "You need to take that off, or I'm gonna like throw it, or
Don't
eat
throw
it,
it.
or eat it, or something."
It's no. It's,
No, I'm not gonna throw it or
Okay.
eat it. I
I
promise.
feel like all of those options are unhealthy. Oh, so sorry.
So Maxine, accept my apology for mispronouncing your last name. I won't get it wrong again. I just won't say it. But please
It happens.
tell us a little bit about yourself. You
Yes.
sent us a really cool bio, so by all means, we'd like you to repeat it here.
Okay. I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. I don't like to say no to things because I don't like to forgo experience or kind of like I don't like regretting things. One of my
Okay.
biggest things in life is I don't ever want to regret something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of my decisions are like, you know what? I made the decision. I'm not gonna regret it. We're just gonna live with it. Let's do this.
Awesome. I love
So
that.
that leads for some fun times.
Uh-huh.
Very cool.
For
But-
sure.
I mean, like, some of those fun times leaded to working in a puppet group for 3 years. Of a
Oh
traveling
my God,
puppet
that's so
team.
cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really love it.
I mean, that was just I was
I do.
in middle school at the time, and a traveling puppet team needed somebody, and I was like, I like funny voices and being stupid.
That's
And
amazing.
that just like it was amazing.
Oh wow.
And it led to my first job at a llama. I was working at a llama farm.
Okay.
Yep, that's a
Wow.
great first job.
I'm putting that together at how you go from a puppet to a llama.
One of my girlfriends
Actually,
runs a
opposite
llama
way,
farm.
Opposite way around.
Oh.
Llama farm to puppets, but close enough.
Got it.
And then at the same time at one point.
Oh
They
wow.
overlap. I've been able to do things like jump off 40-foot cliffs into water because
Okay.
that was an option given to me at one point.
Oh my God. That's braver than I would be. I
I
gotta
can-
say.
I can see that.
I think my max I've ever done is like 12 or 13 feet. And I gotta work myself into that. I gotta
Yeah.
stare down at the water for like a good 20 minutes. I gotta be like, I've been in water before, you know. It's just, woof.
Is this squishy surface that is suddenly flat and hard?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's not good.
I think one of my biggest blessings that I got from never saying no was I actually was able to in high school spend a weekend on in an Amish community, and my best friend and I at the time, we were at the top. We were put just the two of us at the top of the mountain with nobody but an Amish family and the community around us, and I got to ride bareback in full Amish garb, galloping down a mountain.
Wow.
That's
Like just
awesome.
every
That's really
beautiful,
cool.
like the feeling of this moment will always be here.
That's
Like,
awesome.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just-
really
yeah.
cool. I like this. I feel like this should be a topic. Like, what did you not say no to?
Right.
Like, what did you say
There you
yes
go.
to? That's a good topic for
So-
like guests or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, we should actually just have
There
that
you
at,
go.
like at the
Yeah.
what are we?
Yeah.
What have you
Yeah.
What have you not said no to?
Yeah, I love that. That's
right.
great. Thank
All
you
right.
for leading us off with such like an awesome set of stories. Wow.
Before
You're
we
welcome.
before we jump into the first, I'll just
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the comments are coming quicker today.
Ooh.
So Dave says that he sees a guitar. Yes, you notice. I did.
Dave, yes.
I did bring my axe, Dave. Sorry. So we can. When you're back on, we can play.
Jam
There you
sesh.
go.
I'll have to like get me a tambourine or something like
And
that.
Zynar wants to know about llama puppets.
You know what? I actually have one of those.
If
There
do
you
you
go.
have it at the ready, because if you did, that would be worth.
That's, you know what?
One
That's,
of the things in saying yes to everything, I have actually left the majority of my possessions in Kentucky.
Oh.
So right now I am in transit. Like I'm working right now to save up money to go to Nashville
Cool.
for my voiceover stuff.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So I left a lot of things like my mermaid fin. Yeah, left that in Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, then you'll just have to
Shame.
show it to us the next time you're on.
you know what? You're gonna come back on, aren't you?
Mhm.
I mean, if I'm asked.
You're definitely going to be asked to come back on again. I want to see this. I want to see the mermaid
Yeah.
fin. I want to hear the results of the voice acting.
Maybe we can do it for like Halloween or something when you're in your costume. She can be in her mermaid fin.
Okay.
Yeah, like we could all cosplay. I would be.
Yes.
I'm down. I'm down
Yes.
with this.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't know if you heard us a few weeks ago when CA was on, but I never. I haven't dressed up for Halloween. I haven't gotten dressed up for a long time, so I agreed to let Morgan.
I've got ideas. They're
Do it.
brewing.
So I said
I
yes.
am in love with this idea.
Oh, it's
yeah,
gonna
no,
be
I
fun.
actually didn't celebrate Halloween until about 3 years ago.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
So my first official cosplay that I made and everything was actually on Halloween.
How cool.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
special.
That is pretty cool.
It was Queen Chrysalis from My Little Pony.
Again, love it. This is awesome.
Cool.
Yep.
This all leads us into the first topic.
Yeah.
Would you like to take us there?
So yeah, let's do it. The topic was brought to us by Maxine with voice acting enhancing your game. How can voice acting enhance your game? And when you can't voice act, how can you compensate?
When
This
it
is a
comes to RPGs,
great-
I take it.
Yes.
Yes. This
Yeah,
is a great topic. I love it.
It really is. And I love doing accents and whatnot, and sometimes it trips me up because I want to give every single character a drastically different persona.
Yes.
And then the players inevitably want to go back to that person, and I'm
Yes.
like,
Yes.
Which accent did he have? Which accent did I use?
yeah. Yeah, and then I'm like a name person, so I give everybody like completely ridiculous names, and it was like, oh, how did I
Yes.
pronounce that again?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of the same thing. I name all of my NPCs. Every NPC in my starting town had a name, which was inconvenient for my poor players.
Yeah,
but it that's okay. Like I love each and every one of them, and I feel like that's a good
It
start.
does.
That
It
yeah.
does.
But it does become difficult to track.
Yeah, but I have to say I have a soft spot for old people. I love doing old voices.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
I
adorable.
love it so much.
Don't
Yes,
me like
yes,
that.
I love it.
We
They're
walk to
just
school uphill both ways
and like
with no shoes on. I tell you.
I make
Sonny, you've got to be careful with where you
Hey,
place
what are you-
that door.
What are you talking about, Maxine? I don't want to hear it anymore. Stop fixing the bucket.
yes.
I
Yes.
actually have I wanted to try like a ongoing campaign where wherever I went, the world went. So all of my friends that wanted to play, I would bring them into my world, and they would give me their character sheets when they were done. Like they could copy them and bring them home, but I had their character sheets, so that if I ever did something like say move, then their character would become an NPC, would still live in my world and
Okay.
continue. So the next
Oh,
time
I
they
love
want to come
that.
back,
Really cool.
they pick up where their character left off.
Mhm.
And there was a like tackle shop, kind of like a little odds and ends store.
Yeah.
And it was run by a little husband and wife pair. and my characters just felt like they all wrote their names down, and they all were just like, we love them, stop by, we are now official patrons of this shop. And it was just, I don't remember what their names are, I'd have to look through it. I think it was Bertha and Myrtle, I think.
I love it.
And it was just like, oh, would you like this rope? It's about 70 feet. Oh, honey, I'm sure they would love that. That would be wonderful. We'll get it for you. And, it was just like the cutest little couple. And I was just like,
Oh, I love it. That's so cute.
I love that. So, so what if we flip that question?
Okay.
What happens when you can't voice act
Right.
as well as you do? Like I can do an old man voice. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can play an insane person really well.
Mm-hmm.
Ask my players. Not you. You haven't seen it, but I can play an insane person.
That's cool.
But voices, I have a little bit of difficulty with
Yeah.
outside the old man voice.
Yeah, the old people voice I've got down pat. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable doing it. But outside of that, they're all the generic play on a Morgan voice,
Yeah.
But so I compensate with that by body language.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
body language is a really great way to give life to an NPC if you can't make them any different from the sound of another NPC. Like, make them exaggerated, give them a limp,
Okay.
make them
yeah.
talk with their hands, anything like
Oh,
that.
lists are wonderful for characters because,
Yeah.
it may sound a little bit, insensitive or whatnot, but it brings the world to life. I
Yeah.
mean, you want the world to be real.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's something, even just as simple as that,
Mm-hmm.
it brings the world to life, and it interacts your characters, and then it even gives you an empathy
Yeah.
for the people who struggle with that, because it's like, oh, I've had to go through this now, and my characters are interacting
Mhm.
with me in a way
Yes.
that I didn't think. So now the next time I would go meet somebody,
Yeah.
I feel like I understand.
Yes.
When
So it gives empathy.
Yeah, one of the podcasts I listened to, Tabletop Champions, one of the characters gave herself a lisp. And, at first I was a little bit, uncomfortable with it, but she stuck to it. And you really have to give someone credit for making, a commitment to doing something like that long
Yeah.
term.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the podcast, you don't even notice it. There is a certain amount of acceptance that you get, from exposure like that,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
It becomes second nature. You don't even pick up on it so much.
So the way I go, and yeah, body language is definitely one way to go.
Yeah.
I guess I do that sometimes. I don't think of it,
Mm.
but I try with different personalities.
Mhm.
I give them different personalities because I don't change my voice very often.
Right.
But by giving it, that's why I play a good insane person, because he's a different personality. It's just all I have to do is talk to the voices inside my head, which
Exactly.
I don't know if you saw my post today in the server it's just me, just
Mhm.
talking to myself in my head.
That's funny.
So
Yep.
I do that, but I like the voice acting.
Mm.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, I think my biggest advice for non-voice actor, or people who aren't really comfortable with going too far out of their comfort zone, is just, this is a made-up world. You can make up languages.
I'm
You
that
can
guy.
make up accents. You can completely botch a Russian accent and call it's Olympian.
Yes.
And suddenly, your accent is on point.
That's true. That's right.
So
It's my accent.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell me?
If somebody wants to come in, if you have a player that wants to come in and it's like, I want to do a Scottish accent, but I'm really bad at it, then go for it. Whatever you pick is going to be from where you are, and when you go there, I'm going to have to copy it. So you have fun with
Oh
it.
my God.
Watch me mess up,
I-
or watch me do that, and you teach me your language.
That's cute.
I like that. I really like that. I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie that back in
I-
one of the future things I want to talk about,
Yeah.
actually.
You know what? I'm actually going to steal that. I'm sorry. Before we move on to the next,
Uh-huh.
this is a good time to break. Let's just cover up some of the comments.
Okay.
Zynar, there's been online play, Max. That would be a great con idea. Your idea about the NPC is a great con idea. Have the PCs carry over to the next game at the next con. Zynar, we've actually thought of that. I've actually thought about running a campaign that only spans conventions, and people that are at the conventions can play, and you just play from convention to convention.
Yeah.
And then Smurfy says something, a yes. Oh yeah, the dare has been done. And DM Dorkmaster. I hope that wasn't aimed at me, Smurfy. Because if it was, you got to try harder than that. I've been called a dork most of my life, so I'll get over it. Then speech impediments are a thing that is often forgotten. It's usually dialect. I agree.
Yeah.
And switching vocabulary works as well instead of different voices.
That's a good idea. Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I was going to say intonation, too.
Sure.
Making a character
Inflection
monotone, something along those lines. It wouldn't be so bad. Or questioning.
Yeah.
Like have their sentence structure go like pitch up at the end of each sentence.
Sure.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. I like it. I like all of that. Where are we?
We're on topic number 2.
D&D tip.
Yeah.
Rule number 1 for running narrative combat. Help characters succeed with their intent.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start?
No.
And I said, do you want me to start?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, I took this tip. This is presented by Sly Flourish. I follow Sly Flourish, and I like his D&D tips. And
Are we, Maxine, do we still have you? It sounded like we lost our Skype connection.
are you still there? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
I knew it. Haha.
We're getting Maxine back. We lost her.
I'm glad I picked up on that.
We're going to keep trying.
Okay.
Let's give us a minute.
Yeah.
You pick up while I do this.
Well, do you want to, Well, why don't we continue on to this topic and then we'll see
Okay.
if she can call us back. How about that?
All right.
Yeah. So, as for...
Go ahead.
Oh, she's... Okay, there we go.
Hello again.
Sorry, my computer died.
Oh, no!
That's okay. Looks,
I'm glad we got you back.
we got you
I
back.
picked up on that pretty quick. I'm like, I think we lost her.
All right. So what's the last thing What's the last thing you heard?
You were going over comments.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna go past the comments, and move right to the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
So the next topic,
Was the D&D tip.
rule number 1 for running narrative combat: help characters succeed with their intent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with that. The reason why I picked this tip, I follow Sly Flourish, and I like his tips because he's got a lot of good things that make you think about what you're doing,
Yeah.
And I run a lot of theater of the mind, and I know sometimes players like the grid and they like the minis and like to see what they do. I'm okay with minis. I have no problem with minis, but I don't like to be constrained to just the grid because then sometimes it falls into tactical. When I want to hear the player go, I want to move over here. Can I move over here? And me not look at the grid and go, there's going to be 3 attacks of opportunity against you. No, just tell me, because I think in a fray, I should have some leeway to say that this can work or that can work without somebody saying, well, I can't because of the grid. So I want people to succeed. I mean, an example of that, I wanted you guys to kill that big guy this past Monday.
That big guy.
So I gave some opportunities for
that big guy.
that big guy. So, oh my God. All right, only some people will get the mistake I made on Monday, but they were fighting bullywugs, and I made one of the bullywugs larger. And I used to play an online game called EverQuest for many years, and they had a bullywug-looking character called a Froglock. So I kept calling him Froglocks all night. I'm like, no.
That's okay.
Hey,
I mean, that could
it's
be his
your
name or
world.
something.
That's what they are.
Yeah. It was totally okay.
So, but I want the players, as if they're going to be descriptive, I want them to be able to do what they want to do. Hey, can I squeeze by here and slide under? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when you're narrating a combat as opposed to doing a tactical combat.
Okay.
So, I like the minis, but I want to be able to say that guy can reach you or he can't reach you.
I agree.
So,
for me, my tip: if you see your player looking at their character sheet for a long period of time, like, don't be afraid to ask them what they're thinking of doing. Let them, like, talk it out. Because sometimes you can get stuck in your head, and I've seen people get worked up over what their best options are, instead of like keeping themselves really in the game in the moment, and pulling them back out of their own head can be very helpful.
Yes, absolutely. What about your thoughts?
I'm actually very, I like both of your ideas. I'm 100% do both of those. My philosophy is it's not the GM's job to talk, it's the GM's job to let your players be be the characters.
Yep.
So don't, like, not railroading with that kind of thing.
Yes.
But since you've already covered those topics, I'm going to go with another strategy, the timer.
Ooh.
Dreaded timer. If you have to act instantly, your character will start acting before you do.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that.
That's cool.
I'm a fan of the timer, or even the time limit.
Yes.
Like, or like the essence of time. I have a one shot that I actually played last year or GM'd last year for the Thread Raiders Extra Life game.
Okay.
And sometimes it comes to play, sometimes it doesn't. But I am very intentional about telling them there is a clock, and like, if they get really high in perception, then I will even more elaborate on what it looks like. And sometimes I'm like, when it, you look up and at the 12 at the top, it's not there, but you can swear you see a drop of blood starting to come down.
Oh my goodness.
And you're like, what happens if it reaches that number,
Yeah.
And then as they're going, if you can tell they're starting to take a while or getting in their head, I just go, all right, everybody, I want you to make a perception. And they make a perception. It's like, you hear ever so faintly just a tick, tick,
yeah.
tick, and all of a sudden they're like, oh,
pressure's on, man.
I do. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. There was I like that. Just like turning. What are you doing? Tell me now, and then see what they come up with.
I think I'd be a little
like
bit,
the clock.
as a player, I think I'd be a little bit more receptive to that, the engaging with the DM as opposed to with a clock.
Yeah.
I start to get very nervous when I'm put on the spot like that. Like, I will just zone in. I'll be like, oh my gosh, there's only 10 seconds now. Now there's only 5. Like,
I found the essence of a clock works because I work a lot with kids or beginner players. I've even had a month or two where I ran a small campaign for troubled youth, and when you show them a clock, like an actual timer, it's a trigger sometimes.
Yes.
And so you're like, there's an essence of a clock.
Yeah.
So if you give them perception and they roll high enough, then only some of them hear it. So they can judge whether to tell the rest of their party.
That's super
or just,
cool.
So if there's an essence and not an actual pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a really good idea.
Pushes,
I like that.
It's a way to not railroad, but still say, okay, we only have so much time.
Yeah.
We should really add a disclaimer to tell everybody that we're going to steal their ideas if they come on the show. We're going to try. So we're going to try them. I like the clock.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, if anybody's going to play this game in the future, like I said, sometimes it matters. So don't take this saying, oh, it doesn't. It does matter.
Yes.
My clocks matter.
All right, so on to topic number 3. How do you prefer to start building your world for your campaign?
So this was a tweet from
Baby DM.
Baby DM. So
Glue CK Salpaca.
Okay, so
Glue
it's
CKS Alpaca.
It's Glukes Alpaca.
Glukes. Okay, got
so
it. We got there together.
Yes, we got there together. I'm just going to say that all of the links to all of these are in the description below. Yeah. So by all means, click on them and check it out. I like this because I was thrown into the situation with our Monday game. How do you prefer to start building your world for the campaign? Steve was of one mind. Let's just, as we need things, we'll discover them, and we'll just go out there and we'll do it. The problem I have with that is that the players immediately ask questions about things I didn't do yet.
It sounds like when you're playing WoW,
Yeah.
and like, or something along those lines, and suddenly, oh, there's new information on the map. Like
Right.
there's actually something there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So and so I think it's different approaches.
yeah.
I do like small up. I do like focused and then grow out
Mm-hmm.
better than out and then grow in, because you wind up not getting to the level of detail you need in time.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a little combination of both. Right, I'm working on larger scale, but also focusing on what I need immediately and trying to anticipate what questions you guys are going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's both. I don't have a preference one way or another. I do know though, when you start from the out and work in,
Mm-hmm.
You wind up never getting to the details sometimes.
So for me, I am a here and there.
Why don't we let our guest go second this time?
Well, I'm going second. I just started talking. That's why.
This is her show, and she can say whatever she
Damn
wants.
it!
It's her potty, and she can cry if she wants to.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
For me, I'm all over the place. I'll build a country in a shape, and then I'll like get really zoomed in on this one region in the area, and then I'll go to a whole nother. There is no order. It's just madness.
It's just chaos.
But it makes sense to me, and I've got stuff.
Yeah.
By the end of it, like I have like a full picture of it.
You're a chaotic mess.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you?
New handle. Your new handle. A chaotic mess.
Chaotic
mess.
For me, because I do a lot of one shots and whatnot, I have the way my brain works is like there's always a movie playing.
Okay.
Even if it's not what reality is, there's always a movie playing in my head.
Okay.
So I will just take one of those movies and make it into an episode of D&D.
I can't argue. Finish first, and then I'll add on. I'm going to add on to that.
I mean, yeah, everybody has this sense of, oh, that was cool, or I saw this one thing, or I did this one thing, and who says that can't be something you can do?
Right.
Like, you have your own imagination, tweak it, build on it. That's how things are made. Is we take from each other's ideas and we build from them.
Absolutely.
And like, that's one of the things that I do. I also I'll look at my players and I'm like, okay, in this playset, whatnot, we're gonna have 3 casters and a tank and a melee person. What would be something fun for all of them? What would be a fun villain to face?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a cool villain. So why would this villain be anywhere near them? Why would this happen?
Yeah.
Or sometimes if I'm giving them all like, okay, this is going to be a goblin campaign, what would be something stupidly, obnoxiously absurd that would be fun? Like,
That's
is this?
cool.
And then I also look at intentions of players. One of the things I ask, if it's a more like in depth where they like, I actually want to take this super seriously, even if it's going to be something like a goblin thing, I was like, what are you as a person and what are you as a character most afraid of?
Right.
What are you most looking forward to? That kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then I can build off of my players, because as a GM, it's more fun for me to play the game when I know my players are having fun, obviously, but when you can see them engaging because they know you listen to them.
Yeah.
Understood.
So I tend to the world that I have that's all like growing world, that's in my head. The one that I did for the hallway campaign is just a whole bunch of rooms because I was terrified to start GMing. Terrified. And I wanted to make sure that I was ready for any situation that may come up.
Yeah.
So I gave like 2 or 3 rooms for like just brutal melee combat, 2 or 3 puzzle rooms,
Right.
2 or 3 like, so it's like if you're going to be with like beginner players, you're going to want to make sure that the stuff that you're doing encompasses the different types of things they'll want to continue, like they'll encounter
Yeah, absolutely.
as they continue RPing. So it's like preparing them for the next GM.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, that's actually a good way to look at it, preparing them for the next GM.
Yeah.
So what I was going to add on is, like you said, you have this movie playing in your head. I often listen to music, and I design adventures, NPCs, and campaigns around songs I hear. I GM for Shadowrun, and I built an entire adventure idea off of Imagine Dragons song.
Oh, cool.
You know?
Which
Wow.
one? Which one?
It was Radioactive. Yeah.
That's
So
really
I built.
cool.
I have an entire Shadowrun one shot built off of
Yep.
Radioactive,
Wow.
where the players wake up and they were actually being held prisoner in one of the corporate prisons, and they wake up to the prison being abandoned and their shackles being off and alarms blaring.
Yep.
Very cool.
So, and it just it fits through that.
Yeah.
And then
I just thought of another super cool idea. My nephew is 2. He has the most ridiculous imagination of childhood imagination.
yeah.
So you just ask a child, hey,
That's a great
what,
idea.
who are you? I'm a knight. What do you want to do? I want to get the dragon or something like that. Like, I actually played with a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old.
That's
And
pretty cool.
They made friends with the dragon and played chess with it.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody should be playing chess with a dragon. As
I
a,
mean, really.
as a matter of
like,
fact, I think that was a cover of a book.
Chess with dragons?
No, that's not the name of the book, but I think on the cover of the book, I think it was a dragon
There you go.
playing chess with somebody else.
Hmm.
Now I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
That may have been a
Next
J.R.R.
week.
Tolkien book.
All right, cool.
I could be wrong. But I have a whole list. I have a whole playlist of songs that I've done adventures for and NPCs. Letters from the Fire. What else do I got here? Marilyn Manson, State of Mind, Amaranth. Yeah, it just
Cool.
keeps going.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Anyway, sorry.
No, not
We
at all.
we digress.
We did. All right, so next up on our topic train, we've got
Oh, we have more topics.
writing adventures. Writing adventures is both an easy and difficult thing to do. How do you go about it? This was once again brought to us by Sly Flourish. Flourish. There we go. Got it.
Sly
Sly Flourish. I've been
Flourish.
doing so good with names tonight. Have you noticed?
Look
Big
at
Mama.
you go.
But maybe
I
you.
feel like we've actually this is a great segue because we were already starting to how we do it
Yeah.
in the last question.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and you were. I know you were worried that these were kind of similar. But
No.
we put them back to
Yeah,
back.
back to back. It just works. They
Right.
work
Yeah.
really well off one another.
So Mike Shea, Sly
Yeah.
Flourish, he writes some fantastic articles on top of that.
Yeah.
And he put out an article on June 17th that it was talking about writing adventures and how to write an adventure that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
quite simply put it there. And he listed different guides
Yeah.
and different books and people who have put together
Yeah.
guides on how of ones that he found very, very helpful.
You've and there are links to all of them too. You've
Correct.
got to check
Yeah.
this list out that he came up with on his website. It's really amazing. I did pull, just reading through them, I pulled out some of my favorites, and I'm segueing back to our first topic of the night, which I
You
said
go.
earlier, which was so Chris Perkins on writing your own adventures. A little silliness is okay. That's like the
lot of
perfect.
silliness is okay.
Yeah, that's the perfect example of the bad accents you were talking about. Where if you can't do a Russian accent, well,
Yeah.
whatever your
Awesome.
Russian accent sounds like is a Russian accent, and
Mhm.
and I love that there's space for that in every game. I think.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Or maybe a real Russian accent isn't actually an accent.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Everybody talks like
Yeah.
that. You have an
Yes.
accent.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, and then I can't remember his name. Mike, he works for Goodman Games, and he's very good at he's very good at making adventures that don't suck because. And we've all done this, or most DMs have done this, and any DM that says they haven't done this is lying to you.
I'm ready. I'm ready. What haven't I done?
We've all written an adventure that we thought was awesome for us, or that we thought was awesome, but then when you start to play test it or play it with someone, you realize, you know what? This probably wasn't the best thing I could have done. I probably
Time to
should have.
tweak that right now.
Yeah, I'm going to change some of this right now. And, we've all come across that. And sure, maybe we've adapted and it didn't actually come out sucky.
Yeah.
But when we wrote it, it was like, we're going to cross all this out.
Yeah. Editing is your friend.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So editing down. I've done that. I do that a lot. Sometimes I skip whole sections. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? This is
Yeah,
stupid.
I did that with the hallway of my first GMing. I was like, I'm going to figure out every possible scenario that these people are going to go through. And then I get there and it's like, I'm
my
doing
God.
this thing that I hate when the GM just tells me what to do. I'm going to just sit here and be quiet and see what happens.
Yeah, I did that. I did that with my first encounter it was just get across a river. And I wrote out like 12 different things the girls could do and like DCs for each one of them.
Yep.
It was really psychotic, but I went for it, and it exists on a Word document somewhere. It's like 12 pages worth of getting across a river. I was like,
Yep, yep.
yes. Oh man. Yep.
I love it. I love it. It's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
but this list really does have some amazing tips. One of the others, this was by an ebook called "How to Write Modules That Don't Suck" by Goodman Games,
Mhm.
which was convey the fantastic. Like that's such a simple concept that I think I personally forget about a lot. And I've been trying really hard with Nepeta on our Monday night stream to just get it across, like describe the essence of the things she's doing, you
Yeah.
know, like
Well, that's because we talked about that, right?
Mhm.
And because we started off, and I do a lot of the descriptions,
yeah,
right? Like when you miss, I explain how it missed.
yeah,
When you hit, I explain how it hit, or how it goes through. But I think you guys are starting to do that more yourselves,
Yeah.
and I enjoy it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like.
But when the players take over, I am like, dude, do my job, please.
yeah,
Yes. Yes, and we all get that way, and we're all getting a little bit more comfortable in doing it that way.
Mm,
I guess it's our experiences that help us with that.
yeah,
I'm relatively good with combat
mm,
because I see, I practice,
Mhm.
all different, with combat, so
sure,
it helps.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I like to tell my players, look, if you can explain to me how you at least semi-logically can make this thing possible, I want you to roll me a check
Yes.
for
yeah,
it and let's see
convince
what the
me,
dice say.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, that's exactly it.
Tell me why.
Like,
Tell
if
me
it
how it
doesn't
works.
make sense,
Yeah,
you can't do it. That's my rule.
We
It
oh,
just has to be able to make sense somehow.
yeah.
yes, I ran an impromptu adventure
Mhm.
last year at the Long Island Retro Gaming Con.
Okay.
And I jumped, and it was a witch's coven, and they were fighting. They were. This one character decided he wanted to burn down the cabin with his friends in it because they didn't come out in time. So I was like, no, I'm going to try to get the wizard to burn down the cabin because the friends didn't come out in time. They waited 10 minutes, they didn't come out. I'm like, no. I was like, you can't really do that. He's like, well, I'm going to charm the wizard. I'm like, oh, are you? He charmed the wizard. And I was like, and now he had to convince the wizard. I'm like, well, the wizard's not going to physically do anything that harms him. I was like, you know what? Explain to me how you're going to get this done.
Yeah.
How are you going to convince your wizard to do it?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And he didn't do it convincingly.
Mm.
So I said, I'm sorry, it fails. But then I gave him a reason at how he could have done it.
Mm.
Mhm.
So, needless to say, the characters didn't burn down the cabin.
Well, that's I guess a good
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, that's a plus in that situation.
Less arson.
You know what? For a one shot, everybody at the table was having
Yeah.
fun.
Good.
Even the
That's
people
what
that were in
matters.
the cabin,
That's all that
they were
matters,
like, they were laughing that they were going to get burnt down.
Oh
See,
man.
I'm the mean one that would have been like, okay, sure, burn it down. Everybody else, here's your timer.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's
So.
cool. That's cool. This was a good topic. I like this one. And last up, we have learning and out of the box imagination.
So,
Favorite things ever.
so Maxine, I want you to take the lead on this one
Yeah.
because in your bio you had mentioned that when you were younger,
Mhm.
you used to get chastised
Yeah.
for out of the box imagination,
Mhm.
and that doesn't sit well with me. In general, I don't like
Yeah.
that. It's supposed to be encouraged. So lead us with this one, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Yeah, like, I mean, even to things like I would see other strangers and I'd be like, a stranger's just a friend you haven't met yet. Like that's just my
That-
philosophy. I know that there's sometimes there's
You know
like
that's-
strange danger and you have to be careful.
That's a
But-
line. That's a line out of the opening sequence of Star versus the Forces of Evil, right? You do know what I'm talking about, right? Okay.
But I've had that philosophy for longer than they have. Things happen. But like, whenever you think of something, you want to make sure that like, at least you understand it and you appreciate it. And if you can do that, then you can understand that you can start learning how to communicate that to other people.
Right.
Like with me, I have a lot of people know that I have learning disabilities, like a lot of them. and other things on top of that, and with that, like the whole movie and my brain thing, like there's a lot going on up there that I don't know how to communicate. And so I would do things when I was younger that was just out, like I couldn't, like when I was doing homeschooling and stuff, I couldn't figure out how to get my brain to focus until one day I figured out how to get on the roof. And my mom just was like, if you're going to stay up there, do your homework. And she threw my homework up there.
Oh my
and I was up
God.
there for like 5 hours and I got all of it done. She's like, what?
That's amazing.
It's like, I just needed a higher perspective, you know? I just needed to be outside.
That.
So it's stuff like that, which with the whole, like, if your players want to try something, let them.
Yeah.
If it's going to screw over the way that you were going to play, you know, you wanted the game to go, then think about that. Were you railroading?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Like, think outside the box. Make sure that your game is not your game.
Mm-hmm.
You're the GM, but really, you're just the storyteller to get it started. You're the one that says once upon a time.
Yep.
And they're the ones that fills it in.
Yes.
And you get to say, and they all lived happily ever after. Or at least some of them did.
Oh
It's
my
so
God,
true.
I love that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's great. I'm of the mind that the imagination, regardless of where it comes from, needs to be encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as people understand, you know, it should never be chastised. It should never be put down. You lose so much when you take that away from somebody, especially if you take it away from somebody young. You know, you want to hear it. Like again, I'll go back to the adventure I did last year. I did impromptu. I had my daughter there with me. She's 8. She was 7 at the time. No, she had just turned 8. And I used a couple of vampire spawns that the players scared off. And we took an intermission, and she literally pulled me to the side, and she's like, "Daddy, why don't you have them come back and say that they were really just trying to talk to them and they weren't trying to attack them? And then you could have them say," and she gave me this whole scenario. And I'm like, that's a really good idea. So I put it in.
That's awesome.
So I put it all in. And
Oh, yeah.
and she loved it. She loved it.
That's
Because
cool.
she was sitting right there while I was running the game.
Mhm.
So
I love that kind of stuff. Like that's a lot of. I've noticed that a lot of people don't do this, and even like I don't do this all the time because I just do quick little one shots,
right.
Spur of the moment stuff. But especially if you're going to play a game, there's a pre-game that goes before the game.
Yes.
This is a tabletop game, but you also like you're working with emotions. You're working with different things. Like I said, one of my favorite questions to ask is, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
Because like, what are your triggers? What are things that aren't okay for you as a person?
Yeah.
And now when you give me your character sheet where it says flaws, I really want you to think about that. Like I really love that. Like everybody's just like, oh, you got those personality traits. You know, they'll just come along and say, no, I want you to think about that.
I created a trap room in one of my campaigns, and in that trap, the trap actually played on all of their flaws. I had them written down, and I wrote and I created the trap, and they were able to defeat it eventually, but it really had them all. It all had them closed. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
They liked it.
And I mean, there's also like the aftercare fact too. That whenever you do that, like, because I had in my hallway game there, I don't use this one very often, but if it's a group that I know and whatnot, it's called the dark room or whatnot. But when they go into it, they're all separated.
Oh, okay.
And they have to confront their fear, and as they confront it, they become a light and can go to they see somebody else and they can go help them.
Yep.
And they get into their world.
That's
they can't
incredible.
help them physically, but they can encourage them, be like, this is a dream. You have to trust me.
Right.
You have to believe me. This is okay.
Right.
And then when all of them figure out, you know, this is a team effort and they're never alone, there's nothing they can't overcome without each other, then the light becomes white and they get their key.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
But stuff like that,
Yeah.
mentally as a player, can mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to make
absolutely.
sure that after you understand, yeah, this is a game, but you're messing with people's brain in
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
So after, what did you like about this game? What do you want to talk about? Like, you know,
Yeah,
if
that's a great
you
point.
think about something during the week, let me know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make yourself available.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. No. That's good advice.
Yeah.
That's good advice. But yeah, no, I like it. It's all, just encourages it.
Yeah.
Some of the ideas that slip into my games are now coming from my daughter.
Mhm.
A little modified sometimes,
Yeah.
but she's got some pretty good ideas.
That's cool.
I like it.
Do a goblin campaign with her and just let her imagination, like, don't say no to her and just see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Well,
I want to see this game. Can I play in this game?
her and her friends want to learn. Her and a couple of her friends. So I think I'm gonna once a month on a Sunday. I'm actually gonna run. I'm gonna run them through an adventure and just let them go with it and see.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to Skype in on those.
Here's a really fun thing to do with kids, because like I said, kids are some of the groups that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Have the kids and their parent or parents come with them.
Yes.
And do a dual character. So all the parents know that the child is the one mainly making, like, they have the final say.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But if they're like, Mommy, Daddy, I don't know how to add these numbers, or I don't know what to do, they play with them. They bounce off of each other. Even the GM is a child, and they have their parent or whatnot, the GM, helping them.
Well,
so
any game
that
I
way,
run,
yeah.
any game I run actually has a child GM.
There you go. I want to see this so bad. I'm all about kids, if you haven't noticed.
I see that. It's like Rebecca and her friend Stephanie and Stephanie's parents. They all want to play. They haven't done that before, so I'm gonna do once a month for them.
That's a great
and,
idea.
And run something.
And once a month is a good way, because then, as they're going through school, they'll have something at the end of the month to just, I can breathe, I can decompress.
Yes.
I can learn. I mean, and even if you add topics like with the outside of the box, D&D and RPGs, oh my goodness, are such good learning tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't put their homework in, like, a trial or a puzzle in D&D, then you open that box of your brain, please.
Yeah. It's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, it's good.
D&D homework, man.
D&D homework. Now, remember, you've got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will keep you informed as to how that goes.
Yeah.
I'll keep it posted.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness, this cart had 37 oranges on it, and this rogue just came and took 6 of them. What just happened?
How many oranges you got left?
Oh my god.
Well, it depends. How many wheels
like,
does they go?
How do you know? Or they just took a bunch of them. How many did they take?
Oh.
Yes.
Gotta count them all. Oh, there's this many left. They must have taken this many then, huh?
The rogue just stole 6 oranges. How many wheels are on the cart? What?
Yeah.
That's that one comment for math.
Let me jump over to the comments really quick. All right, so Zynar's with us. Zynar is saying, I write the outline and framework, and that's about all. Yes, we agree. That's, outlining adventures. That allows you to be spontaneous in the direction you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Always promote out-of-the-box thinking. Completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
And the GM and the players are symbiotic to make the game work. That is true.
Yeah.
I don't think we all do that enough.
That's a great point of view.
I know I don't do it as much as I could or as much as I should, but it's something I am working on. I mean, you GM for so many years and going through with so many editions. I think 5th edition gives the greatest freedom for that, whereas early editions didn't necessarily. 3.5, which was a long run, was very, very, very rules based. Yeah. But anyway.
I think the most common misconception is that the GM is the storyteller and the players are the characters. Because that's not how G&D works. That's railroading, honestly.
Yes.
That's not as fun.
No, we're really more of a scenario teller, and then you fill in all the blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the bullet point outline person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really don't mind taking some of the stuff that we were talking about tonight and putting like an inside the actor's studio type questionnaire at the end for our guests.
That's fun.
What is your greatest fear? What is your greatest fear?
Yeah.
What is your worst NPC?
What is your favorite color?
Blue. No, yellow. Which brings us to
what are we and what we are?
What are we and what we are? Wonderful.
What are we? What are we? What am I?
I'm not quite sure, really.
I'm a figment of your imagination.
I'm not really here. Just pretend I've gone elsewhere.
Right? All right, so what am I? What am I watching? What am I reading? I'm still reading The Silkworm. Have I actually read it this week? Nay. Wait, did I? I did. I read it when I was in Montauk. I read it on the beach in Montauk. I wasn't about to just sit in my car while I was out there listening to it on a tape, so I read it.
That's
and it was
great.
fun.
Look at that.
It was, you know what was nice about it? Because I do a lot of, I knew as soon as it came out, I was like, he's going to be like, ha, you said doo-doo. I knew it.
You're adults.
We're spending so much time together.
Yes. I'm an adult.
Oh my God. But so one thing that I found I lose from listening to books on tape is that it's not as easy to go back and try and find something that you want to refresh yourself about.
Okay.
Whereas with a book, like you can quick scan, look at a page, see where you're at. Nope. Go back another 20 pages, look there, see if you, nope, I missed it. You know, it's much easier to find that than going back and arbitrarily putting a disc in, waiting for it to read, then checking at the end of the disc for the last track to see, all right, is it on this disc? Is it on the next disc?
Yeah.
You know, like I find it way harder
Maybe
to find stuff when I'm listening on CD like that.
Maybe just because I've been using Audible for so many years
Mhm.
and listened to somewhere over 300 books
Mhm.
on Audible
Mhm.
that I find it easier
Mm.
because I can just go back to the beginning of a chapter and I'll know where I am in the book. But that's just me.
Yeah.
You know, I can see your
Well,
point. And I have bookmarks.
With Audible, you've got chapters. You don't have that when
You're
you're
right.
listening to a CD.
No, you're right.
You know, you've
You're
got
right.
a disc and you've got track numbers
That's
that
true.
do not coincide with chapters,
That's
which are
true.
frustrating.
Yeah,
But so I did that. I got to go back and pick up on something that I missed the first time, so that was nice. How about you? What are you listening to or watching?
All right, so
Or reading or
All right,
watching?
so I'm rewatching South Park, just because I go to sleep with a cartoon of some kind,
Mhm.
and I just finished Family Guy, so I'm watching South Park.
Sure.
It's actually on in the background. You just can't hear it because I have it on mute. But reading, I finished Skyward by Brandon
Okay.
Sanderson, which turned out to be an awesome book, and I like
Oh,
the way it
good.
ended.
Okay.
It was smaller. It was only 15 hours, so it's
Okay.
like a novella type thing.
Yeah.
It was an excellent book about humanity being stranded on a planet and then finally figuring out why they're stranded there and why they're constantly being attacked.
Cool.
And
Interesting.
then Audible has free books that you can download once a month for members, and I downloaded one called Alien 3. It's an Audible original drama, which is just a small drama based off of after Aliens 1 and 2, I guess.
Okay.
And it was all right.
Oh, I'm seeing now. The 3 is like a sequel.
Yeah.
I was like Alien 3. Interesting.
Yeah.
It was like 626, from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
I was going down that path.
Yeah.
but,
No.
I see
So
now.
there's that.
Alien 3. Got it.
And I just started today. I started Dresden Files 7, Deadbeat by Jim Butcher. I like the Dresden Files.
Yeah.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. How
What about you,
you?
Maxine?
I haven't read as much as I usually do, but I actually have a live stream where I read books.
Oh my God!
Because
How cool!
I'm awful at it, and I figure if I'm going to be doing voice acting, I should probably learn how to read out loud more and better.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is.
I actually, if you go to Periscope, That Girl at That Place, I think I have 3 books that I have completely finished.
Okay.
But right now, just for my own light reading, as in whenever I get a chance, I'm reading the original Robin Hood with all the these and thous in it.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And
Wow.
I do believe that I have found the first, official, and by first official, I mean my first time officially seeing the word a buttload of ale. It's an actual thing. I pulled it up online just so that I could say a buttload, or a butt, is usually the volume of a beverage. And a buttload is, typically 63 gallons.
Oh my God.
And what does it say? Sorry, a hogshead is 63 gallons.
I
and
knew
a
that.
butt is 126 gallons.
Oh, how cool.
I knew about Hogshead.
That's funny.
I don't know. Don't ask me why I knew that,
Mhm.
but I knew it.
Hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure where I found that. Stupid knowledge.
But there's like a whole bunch of them, and I was like, it said buttload, and then I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's an actual what?
That's amazing.
It's fun sometimes to read the books in their original,
Yeah.
in their original.
I'm all about like the fairy tales that are like, when I do start reading my books again, I choose books that are friendly, but
Okay.
adults will enjoy as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like, everybody loves Frozen, right?
Yes.
There is actually a book called Frozen Heart, which is Disney, and it's the Disney version, but it's from Anna and Hans's perspective.
Oh, okay.
Elsa's a background character.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that can happen.
So it's cool to see, and it's like every other chapter they switch back and forth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy to think about. This is what was going through Hans's head before he even got to Arendelle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
I like the idea that you read on a stream.
Yeah.
I want to
And I
do
use
that.
all my silly voices.
I think I want to do that.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I want to get back into it if I can get my internet working correctly, stably, and my schedule of work and all that fun stuff.
But you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to buy myself an adult pair of feety pajamas.
Yes. Oh, I've got two of them. There.
See?
The one is a big white bunny. Like, no shame here. Live a life of no regrets, man. Do it.
One of the girls I play D&D with at the store on Tuesdays, she has a dragon onesie, and she wore it to the store a few times. I think she wore it when we did the 24-hour stream for Extra Life.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Speaking of Extra Life, CA has asked us if we would consider doing our show for Extra Life.
Yes.
If they do Extra Life.
Absolutely.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, absolutely.
Very cool. Oh, I love it.
Be more than happy to do those types of things.
All right. So are you listening to anything new?
Am I listening to anything?
Yeah.
So it turns out I am a closet Panic at the Disco fan.
So good. Why are you in the closet about that?
Because I didn't know it was them.
They're so good.
So, just listening to, like, I've listened to them before, right? Don't get me wrong. And I was like, okay. But then I kept hearing songs, and I didn't know it was them, and then I found out it was them. So, you know what? It's the same thing happened many years ago when I started liking Pantera.
Oh.
I was listening, my friend was always playing the songs, right? And I loved it. And I had no idea who it was. Same with The Offspring.
All right.
So.
That's seriously the majority of my life. It's like, I love you, and I don't know who or what you are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so.
Like, I'm a voice actor, and people are like, do you know this actor? And I was like, what do they play as?
I vibe with that so much.
Let me, before we move on, right to the comments. First, Zynar said poop is funny because you said doo-doo.
It's 100.
Thank you.
Oh my
People
God.
are like, oh, you're so mature. It's like, yeah, I am. I'm going to go to my job after this and make bacon.
And then,
After I laugh at this joke.
and then Smurfy says that she has a surprise for you and I. It'll be sent soon.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I love surprises.
Mm-hmm,
I
me
hate
too.
surprises.
No, I love
surprises. Did I say hate?
She's been threatening
I love
me.
the thought of surprises, but they're scary.
Thank you.
She's been threatening to tell me what the surprise is, and I'm like, don't you dare. I'm like, I'm not about that. Like, if it's a surprise, like, I cannot wait for the surprise. But I find myself looking forward to the surprise so much, I start thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, what could it be? What has she casually mentioned in the past? And I start to unravel it. Like, I don't know. It gets dangerous. I have a tendency to ruin surprises for myself with overthinking, but I'm trying not to think about it.
And it was nothing that you thought it was. You're like, why didn't I think of it?
That's the best. That's the best.
You're like, oh, it's nothing that I was thinking of.
Or you're like me and buy something on eBay and then completely forget about it purposefully. So when you open it, you're like,
oh, lucky. I can't do that. Oh,
that's pretty funny.
That's cool.
That's pretty funny.
I like that. All right. Well, that's what that wraps up that segment.
Great.
We already covered this.
Oh, we did listening,
But you were
reading.
watching.
Oh,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, we did. So now we're up to quick notes. You got some, right?
Yeah, just 2 quick notes, and these links
Okay.
are also in the bottom.
Perfect.
There's an interview with the CEO, Chris Birch of Modifius Entertainment, and he was just talking about bringing some games, some board games in. And then there's that was brought to us by Morris, at Morris, and then at Morris posted
Love
another
him.
one about Pathfinder 2.0 is out in full force at the UK Games Expo.
Cool.
I have no idea about Pathfinder 2.0 yet. I haven't seen it or checked it out.
Okay.
Some plugs. Oh, before we get into the plugs, let
Okay.
me just turn around and say, you mentioned a few websites that you have, Maxine. By all means, because now we put Maxine in the supporting area, send us the URLs. You can send them to me on Discord. And I will put them in the description going forward, so people will always be able to find your stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and we definitely like to support.
Yeah, we love supporting our guests.
We absolutely love supporting our guests. Like Dice Geeks is permanently there, and we have Thread Raiders there, and
Yeah, and I said CA. CA was on your.
yes, yeah, yeah. She's gonna be one of the co-hosts at Gen Con when Morgan's the guest.
Cool.
But as soon as we figure out exactly where it's going to be, I'll let everybody know. So you're welcome to come down for it. And then I will be going.
I will tell you though, if I happen to come, you may need a bounce from me because I might try and photobomb.
No. I think we're going to go with widescreen, so everybody can be in it. So by all means,
you gotta
know,
get some stools set up in the background.
If I'm allowed to be there.
you can start off on the other side of the cameras.
Okay.
And then
you just
photo.
see these little fingers.
Yeah. Oh my God! You could do a puppet. You could do a hand puppet.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yes. That's happening. That's definitely happening. You're gonna do a puppet show for us.
There we go.
One or something.
Yes, that has to happen.
Okay, this is gonna be great.
Perfect.
Now I'm gonna have to put a budget towards puppetry stuff again.
and then immediately after that, CA and I and I guess a couple of people are going to go into the True Dungeon,
Cool. Cool.
which is fun.
I'm not jealous
Can
at
I,
all.
Film it for you guys.
Okay. Yeah, you could.
Film you guys in the True Dungeon.
Oh, why not?
Yes, that would
We
be
can live
great.
stream that too.
I love that. Or maybe not live stream, but post it later so you guys can really truly enjoy it. You know, like.
So I've never done. To be honest with you, most of the time when I'm at Gen Con, all I do is work. Right? I work and then
It's the thing that happens.
and then
really
I drink.
easy.
I work, we eat, we drink.
Okay, that sounds
And
good.
then you go home and sleep so you can at least maybe be kind of social in the next morning.
Right. But I work the booth I always work the booth. Even when I don't have to, I'm always just there.
Yeah.
So this time, CA had a ticket for something. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it.
Cool.
And it's right after the show, so.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's really cool. So plugs. Let's do it.
Oh, plugs. We're on to plugs.
Yeah.
All right.
So, as you said, all video links that we have are in the description below.
I have one line in this section, and you took it from me.
You already said it. You said it before.
Okay.
I'm reiterating
You
it.
want to say it again?
Oh, don't be sad. Do you want to say my line?
No.
I'll give it to you.
No, it's okay.
It'll be a gift.
No, I don't want it.
All right. I'll
You
take
say
it back.
Okay.
All right. If you
Where's
liked...
it?
If you guys keep arguing, I'm going to say the line.
Yes, say it. Go ahead.
It's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
How should I say it?
However you want.
Yeah, in any voice you want.
Any voice.
Any voice?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. If you'd like to discuss these topics we've discussed today, please like this video and click subscribe. We are Read it. We are my content.
No,
creators.
none of that makes sense.
Okay, so wasn't me. We are my.
Did you mess up the script?
I have no idea. I mean, I definitely messed it up, but I don't know how I messed it up.
See, that's how my brain. Okay, you want to see what my brain looks like when I try and read things? This right here is what somebody was like, just like.
What's happening? My mouse is moving all over the place. We are the content creators. Oh yes. Okay, that's how it goes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's it. There we go. Try it again. We'll see.
Okay. Starting over, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Straight face.
If you like the topics we've discussed today, please like this video and click subscribe.
Yeah.
We are the content creators of the Weekly World. which you've just watched, The Short Rest Chronicles, a bi-weekly live stream and programming with Morgan, a monthly how-to play hosted by me.
That was awesome.
I think we should get her to record that to
Yes.
get it, and then just play that at the right spot,
Yeah.
and then maybe you just pretend like your mouth is moving.
Yeah. Oh my
during
god.
it.
Yes.
And dub it.
It's
I'm
fun.
gonna do it in like so many different voices. Like we're gonna have Dracula. Like,
Oh my
you do,
god,
like,
yes.
stomp,
It can
then
be
you
different
stomp.
every week.
Oh my god. We're gonna need a credits page, and we've got to put her on. We're gonna put Maxine on that.
Oh, I love it. All right, now I would say your lines, but they're not here, and I don't know what to say. So, Maxine, I'm going to let you take it away. Tell us a little bit about where the viewers can find your content.
Hi guys, I have content places all over. You can find me at That Girl at That Place, many places. If it's on Twitter, or if it's on Twitch, or email, you just add 114 to the end. So That Girl at That Place 114 is both my email and my Twitter. Twitch.
Okay.
Twitter is also That Girl at That Place. If you're looking for the actual handle, it's at Maxine_Bachman. And my Instagram is Lady Skyburn, because apparently That Girl at That Place is just too long for them. I know.
What?
That's silly.
And then my Periscope is also That Girl at That Place. I've tried to keep it as close to either my name, my Maxine Bachman, or That Girl at That Place.
Okay. So we'll definitely have to get all that and
We're-
put it in the description if it's not already there.
So a couple of things that are coming, which are pretty exciting. Yes, we're going to get all that information. We're going to put it in our descriptions going forward, so you'll be forever memorialized going forward. But we also just set up the areas for our websites, which are going to be coming soon, within hopefully before Gen Con, which would be great.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a supporters page, and all of the links to all of your stuff will be there.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to support our friends much more.
That's
Yeah.
my Disney princess, by the way.
And then, okay, so Zynar says that he's going to bring chocolate for you. I take it Zynar's going to be at Gen Con. Zynar, that's going to be great. I'll get to run into you there. We
Who's
can't-
bringing chocolate for me?
Yeah.
Sounds like it's for you.
Oh, yes, don't forget to ring that bell, too. Subscribe and ring the bell.
Yes.
Yeah, Zynar said it.
Wait, there's a bell?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.
Yes, we'll put that in the script. That's
Yes,
awesome.
I love it.
And then you can't film the True Dungeon, and then we have to make the dubbing look like a bad dubbing.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I can make that happen.
Like you just say something
Super
completely
easy.
different.
Yeah, okay. Easy.
Or like you pretend that you're doing an accent when you're doing it, so then it looks like you have to draw out certain syllables.
Yes.
It
Oh,
just
that's a
makes
good
it
idea. That's fun.
Nice.
All right, well, that brings us to the wrap up.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
I don't want this one to end.
Oh, I know, it's been fun.
It
It's
was.
been really fun. I mean, they've all been fun lately.
Yes, yes, yes,
Lately,
they-
we've been on a roll.
Yes, the last
Awesome.
3 or 4 weeks have been
guests.
awesome.
Yeah. So as always, you can follow us on Twitter at LRTerrain. You can follow us on Instagram at Legendary Realms Games. And we have a Patreon currently, which is at LR Games.
But that's
You
but
don't want to follow us there.
you don't want to because
It's changing.
It's changing. We're gonna set up our new Patreon.
Yeah.
Which we'll have for the weekly word,
Yeah.
which will have one tier.
Yep.
Right? One tier, $1.
$1.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to support our stupidity. I mean, our weekly banter.
Yes.
And that's it. I am Rich Parla.
I'm Morgan West.
And I am Maxine Bachman.
Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next
Thank you.
week.
We will.
Thank you for having me.
It
Oh,
was
thank you
awesome.
for joining us.
Thank
It's
you.
been so great.
Good night.
What a